Hi, this is Don Nori again. We're talking about pioneers. And often we talk about where pioneers are going, but maybe we need to talk about where they came from first, because God is not helter-skelter. He is not random. There is a specific goal he has in mind. There's a specific plan that he has had from the foundations of the earth. And contrary to most of us who think we are waiting on God, most of the time God's waiting on us. He's waiting for us to simply respond to him, to respond to what he has already decreed and determined and decided in his heart. I'm real careful not to decree something that he hasn't already decreed. In my own flesh, I don't have the power just to open my mouth and see something happen. God's will is done when what I say is according to his will. But we have been someplace, and God is taking us through an experience that's ultimately going to bring us to the place of brokenness where we can experience him in all his fullness and in all his life. I can imagine the full power and glory and presence of God resting upon unbroken humanity. Can you imagine the absolute inhumanity to man that would ultimately incur even among, well, we already see it among believers every day. That's why so many people are disenchanted with the church system, because there's no question there are more people hurt by the Sunday morning System Lord program than are really helped. So we know the inhumanity to man that can happen even with just a little bit of authority that we believers wield. And God's not about to drop that kind of incredible supernatural power and authority on people who are unbroken. To the extent that we allow the power of brokenness to be at work in us, to that extent we're going to see that power and that presence and that life work through us. And I mean in the predictable, day by day, ongoing, ongrowing establishment of his life, love, and kingdom among human beings, beginning with this one, beginning with me. That's where God's kingdom needs to be established first, is in our own individual hearts. And I think pioneers have a real deep understanding of that, and they know that when they set out on whatever journey God sends them on, in whatever direction they are sent on, that they have to know that God is with them. They have to know that they're being sent and that he is with them, so that whatever they face, whatever they see, there is the force of eternity behind them that will strengthen them and carry them through the day. We are more than we have become. There is more to find than we have found. The undiscovered territory, the undiscovered country, the undiscovered frontier is Christ. He is the undiscovered Christ. Most of us have enough of a relationship with him to be certain we're going to go to heaven, and he is a casual acquaintance that we visit once a week and sometimes twice a week. But in terms of actually living with him, or understanding what it means to let him live in us, is a completely different thing, where the exploration of the depth of the salvation he brought for us is something that we haven't even touched yet. And I am one who I refuse to accept what we have experienced as the end of why Jesus died. I mean, you look around, look at the church that happens on the Sunday morning, the church system that happens Sunday morning. Look at the condition of our culture, of the world. Look at the condition of the life of the average believer. The struggles of life, the breakdown of the family. Do we see the power of God really at work? Now, don't throw nothing at me, but just listen to me for a second. If the doctrines and the precepts are true, that we have embraced so powerfully over the centuries, if this is all there is, why isn't there more change? If this is the sum total of his power, then his power isn't very powerful. If this is the sum total of his wisdom, what we see on Sunday morning, there's not a lot of wisdom there. And it is difficult for many people to see this and to understand it, to receive it. But I want you to know something. God doesn't do something halfway. He doesn't start something that he doesn't finish. And when he does something, it works. When he commands it, it works. When we're following his will, when we're doing his will, there are results. The world is changed. We have been doing this thing called churchianity for centuries. And yet the world continues down the path of complete annihilation, complete destruction. And we just keep right on doing the same things we've always done and preaching the same things we've always preached, but things continue to get worse. The scripture says that the nations will run to his light. Well, the nations aren't running to that light. There is a city on a hill that in the last days the people are going to run to. But everybody claims it's the last days, but we don't see people running to that city on a hill. So there's something wrong. Either it's not the last days, or we really don't have the city on the hill, or the light of the world that the people are going to run to. The nations of the world are going to run to. I like Micah, come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, into the house of our God. There he will teach us of his ways, and we shall walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. That's Micah chapter 4. There it says, the nations will stream to this light. Since the nations aren't streaming there, who has the courage to simply say, you know what we thought we found, we really haven't found it. What we thought we had, we don't have. The pioneers, the explorers, the people who aren't afraid to live on the brink of human disaster need to get back out there and really seek God. Stay quiet, open their hearts to hear what God is saying and what God is doing, because in the days and weeks and months ahead and years ahead, I'm telling you, everything is changing. Our nomenclature is going to have to change. Our thought processes are going to change. How we meet is going to change. Everything we thought the church was is going to change. Not simply for the sake of change or for the sake of revolution, but because we are going to have to change really into the image and likeness of Jesus as we were intended to from the very beginning. Jesus wants to live his life through us. He wants to love the world through us. He wants to gather the world through us. Our own intellect isn't the answer. The answer is to see him and to find him. And pioneers, those of you who are unsettled, uncertain, those of you who see a greater thing, I am saying to you, you need to respond to your heart. You need to seek God. And pioneers are critical in every area, in every aspect of life. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid where you are to be a pioneer, to see things you've never seen, to do things you've never done, to become someone that you have never become. And I guarantee you, you're going to leave a trail behind you that those many not like it now, in time to come, will be their escape route from what was, from the destruction that was, to the hope and the life of God that is. Now, please respond to me, write me a letter, yell at me, congratulate me, but post something so that I know that you're seeing this and you're thinking about it. This is Don Nori. God bless you.